Welcome to Mind, Body, and Soul Awakening, a show where we celebrate resilience and inspire transformation. Our guests share their stories of how they overcame a traumedy and turned it into a triumph. I am your host, Stars Tina. Get excited and let's have some fun. Hey, good morning to you and also you. Welcome to the 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation. I am Stars Tina, your host. And when you come into this space, family, I'm going to bring you all the motivation, all the inspiration, all the education when it comes to your health, your wellness, your beauty, your finances, your relationships, your everything. And I bring guests in here to just inspire you just as well. So, as you know, it is Women's History Month. So, I just want to give a big pat on the back for myself, a big pat on your back for you, all the women out there that are just doing amazing work. So, here on this Wednesday, I like to get started right away with Wellness Wednesday. As you know, I am your life and health coach, that person that's going to take you from good to great to amazing. But I've been reading this book, and type in the chat for me, what are you currently reading? I have been thinking I got to think a little bit bigger. So instead of amazing, let's maybe get unstoppable, maybe relentless. That is what today's topic is going to be focused around, the word relentless. There's a book, and the last chapter of the book, it's called Relentless. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you need something that's going to motivate you, this book will do it. I want to invite you to tap into this book. I listen to Audible because I like to listen to a lot of books, and it's crazy because when you were a kid, they always said reading is fundamental. It is so true. So in this book, the author is the coach, therapist, mindset person for people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, all of the best athletes in the world. Yes, I'm going to say in the world. And it's amazing listening to his mindset and their mindset because pretty much he is pushing them. A lot of people would say, well, why do you need a coach? What's a coach about? If you want to get to the next level in life, you need a coach. Okay, so you're probably wondering, like, what's going on? This bracelet, this necklace right here means a lot to me. So I'm trying to get it right. It's actually an angel's wing. And I've worn this bracelet for easily 8 years, and there's little knots on it. And I'm trying to get the wing in the front and the back in the back because that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't know if you guys have pet peeves. I know I'm off the topic, but I'm sorry. It's like, it's totally tangled, but that's okay. So I'm going to give you guys a quick look. This is what I'm feathering over right now is this necklace, which is an angel's wing. I wear quite a bit because this is an angel's wing as well. And it just reminds me of my son. That's my son probably just coming through saying, hey, Ma. Anyway, leave it alone, Tina. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm trying to leave it alone. All right, I'm leaving it alone. I was talking about the book Relentless, and the author who was the coach for people like Kobe and all the amazing greats. And when you have a coach, they're there to see things that you don't see. Because yes, you may look in the mirror, yes, you may practice, you may do your thing, but you're not going to see the things that aren't there. You're not going to be able to stretch yourself a little bit more. And in one of the chapters, the coach was talking about Kobe, and Kobe had said someone had asked him, when do you plan on leaving the league? And he said, when I get 6 rings. Now, mind you, Kobe didn't say in 5 years, when I reach a certain age, when I've gone to such and such teams. No, no, no. He set a goal for himself. He set a target, and he said, I'm not leaving until I reach this target, which is what I think we need to do in life, because I think sometimes people put limits on what they can do with what they can achieve by other people's standards instead of their own standards. So as I'm listening to this author in the grades, and I'm like, and I love the way he did this book because he talks about athletes, but then he also put it into business as well. Because I'm not an athlete, I never played sports in school, even though I'm into fitness now. The only sport I did was cheerleading, and the school that I went to, our cheerleading was like this, all that sort of stuff. It was in Newark. It was called Arts High School. It was a performing arts school. Now I went to college. I went to Montclair State College. At the time, it was a college. Now it's a university. I was the first Black cheerleader there. And that was real cheering, like getting thrown up in the air and all that stuff. Back to the point. I know. I just had to say that. So I say that to say sports, that sports mentality. If there's any athletes out there, let me hear, what is that one sport that you love? For me, there's two sports I like the most. The first one is boxing because it's easy to understand. Boom, knockout, you're done. And then it's basketball because you make a basket, you're done. The other sports, I'm all confused, especially football. But the mindset of an athlete is phenomenal. So I want us to take that mindset of an athlete and turn it into our personal life, which is your business. And someone may say, well, I don't own a business. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you're a mom, if you're a daughter, if you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, if you're whatever you do in your life, that is your business, right? And I want to invite you to just really tap into your morning and evening rituals. I've been tapping into them so strong. I've got like this fence around me. You know that song, Jesus has got a fence around me. My fence is so tight. It's like no one is coming in here until I say so. And that has to do with your evening and your morning rituals. You have to put a time limit, where you're going to let people in and let people out. By the way, I do have an ebook on morning and evening rituals that are going to help you. I can give you what I do, and you can tap in to see what's there, what you may like, what you may not like. But when you have these rituals, it gets your mind focused. And that's what these athletes did. They focused on what they wanted to do. So on this Wellness Wednesday, I have a special guest, as I mentioned, but in the book, he talks about coolers and he talks about cleaners. Now, coolers on the team are people that after they win the tournament or game, they're happy, they're in the locker room, cheering, popping bottles, going to the parties, like, woo, 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 that's a cooler. Like, yeah, we did it, we did it. And then you have the cleaners, and these are people that are never satisfied, like Kobe, like Michael. They'll say, okay, well, we won the game, but we could have won it with, they're looking at the scoreboard, and instead of looking at all the great stuff, they're looking at the bad things because they're never satisfied. When they have wins, they may have won the championship, but if that high is there, as soon as that high is there, it goes back down because they're pushing for what's next. And as I'm listening to this, I'm like, wow, that sounds like me a little bit. Now, I'm not an athlete, like I said, but I can tell you this, whenever I do any huge, amazing thing, like when I did my podcast, when I won my contest, when I collected sneakers, to go to Africa, as I'm doing it, I'm like, here, I'm going, I'm motivated, I'm excited. And when I get to the top, it's like, okay, what's next? When I did any of my events, because I've done many events, I do it. And then when I get up there, it's like right before it starts, I'm already thinking about the next thing. And that's the relentless mentality, which makes me think, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And I think it depends on where you are in your life. So that's what I want to talk about today on this Wellness Wednesday. The guest that I'm coming through, I am so excited to have her here for various reasons. I met her in person, yes, a few months ago, and she's so beautiful. She's so amazing. Her heart, her soul. She's got a voice of like an angel bird, a bird angel. I don't know if I said that right. Like an angel, like a bird. It's beautiful. And whenever I hear her voice, it's very soothing. It's very calming because my energy tends to be like all over the place. And I purposefully have to calm myself down in the mornings. That's why I don't let anyone into my energy. And she just seems like she's just always floating on the clouds, clouds. That's what I love about her. So I asked her to come through today because I just wanted to celebrate, certain women on this wonderful Women's History Month, because some women, a lot of women, all of us women, what am I talking about? All the women, you, and also you. Just getting out of bed in the morning can be challenging, yes? Let me tell you guys, this morning was one of those days. Sunday, I made a new ritual, a new push for myself because I want to be relentless. This book is pushing me, guys. And I normally teach classes at 6 a.m. If you didn't know, we have an online fitness boutique studio. You can join our community if you want. And we have classes every morning at 6 a.m. And I always say 15 minutes early, you're on time. When you're on time, you're late. And when you're late, you're left. Peace. All right. But I thought, well, Tina, you got to go the extra mile. You got to push yourself because I'm not saying I expect, but most people will only do half of what you do. And I learned this when I was younger and I used to dance at bar mitzvahs. And, when you're at a bar mitzvah, you're there and you're cheering on the crowd, right? And they say, if you're doing this right here, the crowd's going to do half of that. So when they taught us to clap like this. Do you see how big this is? That's huge. So when people see you doing this, they may possibly do this. So for myself, when it comes to teaching, when it comes to motivating, when it comes to training, anything I do, I push extra, extra hard. Why? Because most people will only do half of that. So I said, Tina, you got to push yourself. So I have my morning rituals of praying, stretching, and meditation and journaling. By the way, you haven't been journaling that much, Tina. So 5 o'clock, I get up, and then 5:15, I'm on the road because I said for 30 minutes, I'm going to be out on the road, walking, running, whatever. And then class at 6. So I've been doing that every morning, and it feels amazing. So as I'm reading this book, talking about Wellness Wednesday, this angel bird, Yolanda is her name. She's an artist. And there's something about the mind of an artist, I believe. They're just so freeing. They're just so loving. I'm not saying that other people aren't freeing and loving, but these creative souls, ooh, baby, they are extra loving. So without any further ado, make some noise, give it up, bring her up, Renee. Let's have our Yolanda in the building. Good morning, Yolanda.
Good morning. And I am just happy to be here, grateful to be here. Thank you for reaching out to me and inviting me to sharing your space where we are celebrating us as women. So let's get started. I can't
Yes,
wait to get
yes, yes,
started
yes,
this
yes, yes.
morning.
Yeah, so I did a live with her a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about her event. But before she talks about her event, Yolanda, I brought Yolanda on because she started a business. She's living a wonderful life, and she transitioned to another aspect of her life. And some people think once their career is over or they're going to something else, they're like stuck. Can you please share with those women that are watching right now how you got to where you are today? I don't want to give it all away.
Well, number one, God. That's my foundation. And, God is resourceful. And, a lot of self-talk is how I got started. In my asking, it takes discipline, it takes strength, it takes our power, perseverance, resilience, and focus. The consciousness is what has kept me. And that consciousness, like I said, comes from God, Tina. So with the consciousness, we have the desire, and that desire is to expect, no matter what, that we are deserving of God's gifts and talents. And each and every one of us have those. And for me, I am a caregiver as well as an artist, a mother, a wife, a sister, a Jackie of all trades. It was my decision for me to understand that I had to do the physical work, because faith without works will not yield any profit. And profit is not necessarily monetary. Profit for me is God's grace and being able to be grateful for the things that I have. And in building this business, I have had to terminate relationships that were not suitable for me and my energy. And it was heartbreaking, but I still get up again. And that's just it. In building a business, we have to remember, as children, we crawl, right? And so you crawl and then you start to walk. And in that walk, for me, I've been walking with God. And I know that He continues to direct my path. I think you're muted, Tina. I can't hear you. Well, we're going to keep on going, right? Because God is good. God is good. God
I love it,
is
Yolanda.
good. We're going to keep
So
on going.
we're gonna keep on going. Let me tell your girlfriend. So Tina's trying to be a little fancy with like two devices. So I've got like this device right here in front of me, and then I have the other one behind, and I got a little fancy. So forgive me for that. It was
That's
my fault.
okay. I just hope the guests were able to hear my share,
Yes, yes, your share was
and we
wonderful.
continue to go on, right?
Yes,
No
your
matter
share
what.
was wonderful. So tell us about your new organization. You were an artist. How did you get started with artwork? Have you always done paintings?
Um, I actually, my interest in art started as a child because my father was an artist. And back in the 60s and still today, the struggle is real for us as brown people, and especially for our Black men. But my father had the desire, and he was blessed with a full scholarship with Gerber Corporation when I was a baby. I was only 4 when he got that. And I would sit next to him because he used charcoal art. And he did a lot of portraits of my brother, my sister, my mother. I don't recall him doing one of me. I'll have to have that heavenly talk with him. But just the enthusiasm of sitting next to my papa and having my crayons and drawing the little stick people, and just confident in telling him that I created the same idea that he had next to me and in his art. And life brings about a change. I didn't get back into my art until I want to say 2007, when I was blessed to have a break to go to a wine and painting event. And I was amazed by my own talent. I guess when we're blessed with our gifts and talents from the birth, actually before the womb, right? Before the womb, we are blessed. Um, you know, it came out, and the instructor was like, wow, you are an amazing artist. Now, my self esteem was very low then. And I told her, no, I'm just a caregiver. And she said, well, you should teach classes. And I let that go. I didn't even think any more about it. And then as my father was transitioning in 2016, I painted this painting of an African woman. And at that time, I was in distress. So, artists, we, a lot, for me, we express ourselves through our art. And it's the artist, the piece is called Naima, which means felicity and joy. And at the time when I started painting, I decided that I would put Africa behind her because of the struggle and the disparities. And it has the Serengeti behind it. And at that time, I was very vulnerable, and I broke down and I said, Father God, show me what I can do with the gifts that I have right here with this art to give back. I don't want to go back to corporate America. And so the asking was there. Did it happen right away? No, 8 years later, actually 6 years later. And I opened Benevolent Art LLC, and we offer. Right now, I'm in the process of hosting my first Expectfully You event, where where Stars Tina is going to be one of the amazing speakers on the panel. We are a space where caregivers can feel safe and be heard and appreciated and celebrated. And I have also been blessed through this waiting and asking and continuing not to give up, Tina, to be partnering with Johns Hopkins University, Peabody Institute, Arts and Health's students. And I had the most amazing telephone call with them this past Monday. And so I'm just looking forward. It's just, we have to do the work. So that's how I got started. And I am building some other programs that are going to be focused around the therapeutic aspect as far as what we can give to caregivers, to those caregivers who cannot get out of the house, but they can still use these tools of art therapy where they can also engage, hopefully, the person that they are caring for.
So, Yolanda, that was beautiful. I just want to recap if anyone's just coming through. We have Yolanda here, and Yolanda sharing how she was a caregiver, and then she decided she wanted to tap into her God gift. Everyone has a gift, right? We may forget about it, we may ignore it, we may think we're too old, too young, all excuses, but you tapped into your gift of drawing and artwork and painting, and now you're doing your first event. Can you tell us where and when this event is? And on the bottom of the screen, you guys, you can visit her website for more information, but can you tell us when and where this event is and what people can expect there?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you, Tina. The event is going to be held on Saturday, May 18th, 2024, between the hours of 12 p.m. and 5 p.m., of course, Eastern Standard Time, right here in the state of Maryland in Upper Marlboro at the Billingsley House Museum. The Billingsley House Museum is a historic site. The event is going to be up against an artistry of catering, live progressive jazz, as well as the students from Johns Hopkins University. We have a comedian. We have a host of supportive speakers. We have a host of interactive activities. And we have right now an early bird pricing for all of this. And if you click that link on Eventbrite, you can get that early bird pricing as well as a copy of my ebook, the Nurturing, the Caregiver's Guide, Nurturing Care. And sometimes as caregivers, Tina, just, us as individuals, I look at all of us as caregivers because God is the number one caregiver. And so that's why we're here. And this ebook is just a simple 5 or 10-minute read, but it will instill hope. It will instill courage, confidence, vitality as far as your spirit. Just a lot of good little tools that you can use right then and there.
I love it. And if anyone's watching this right here and you're like thinking you have these great big ideas in your head and like, how am I going to do it? I just want to share her journey a little bit, like how I met her and how simple it is. I say it all the time. Your vibe is your tribe. What is your vibe? Your vibration. All right. You're going to attract the people that are like-minded with you, the go-getters. There's an app there. It's called Clubhouse. It's on your phone. Click on it. Breakfast with Champions is the morning show. And they're Fridays at 7 a.m. And I met Yolanda on this app. And there was a bunch of little communities in this particular app. All right. And we met on there in this community. And we got together, we did some coaching together. And I remember the very first time I heard your voice, Yolanda, it is so clear. I was in Cary, North Carolina. I was walking through the woods because I love walking in the woods. I call that a nature bath. And you were talking, I think this was probably when you first began your journey and you were kind of at a little low. And if you guys know me, I'm like, ah! And I was just like, come on, you can do this. I felt like I was just like digging down. I don't know if you recall that conversation at all. And then today I look at you, I'm like, yes, she has an ebook. Go ahead and get her ebook. Yes, you have your platform. Yes, you have your community you're building. Yes, you're putting together an event. And when I hear this, if you're an artist out there, I'm just talking to the artists out there who paint or draw or whatever, is your artwork going to be there as well at the event, Yolanda?
Yes, inside the museum. Our guests will be able to tour the museum, and at that time, they'll be able to embrace my creations as well as a sound bath.
We love sound baths. We love sound baths. 2 more questions. First question, are they able to purchase your products at this event?
No, the facility will not allow any transactions.
Hold on, wait a minute. So can we do like a silent auction? Because I have a second part to that question.
I am planning to do a silent auction. However,
Okay.
there can't be any cash transactions on
Okay. Okay.
the
So
premises.
okay, so we're gonna do pre-sales because I'm putting in my order now. We
The
spoke years.
website is right there. The sales are right there.
Yes. Well,
So
here's my question because I think you said you do personalized projects and you do like glass art, broken glass. Can you talk about that?
I have a technique that's different from most, because there are different types of glass art. I use a liquefied product that hardens. And yes, I have some pieces. I have one. It's called Dancing in Their Light. And it's four Black women dancing in the Son of God, and the Son of God is Jesus. And so,
Oh my gosh, pause right
and it
there. Pause, pause,
reminds
pause for a
me,
hot second. Pause for a hot second. So when you said the Son of God, for some reason I was thinking the Son, and God, but then you said the Son of God. So it gets even deeper.
absolutely,
Keep talking. Go ahead.
absolutely, we know that Jesus is the metaphor of the Son, S-U-N,
I did not know that.
God. God is all, and Jesus is the Son. And so you'll see the women dancing, and it reminds me of, we're in women's celebration month, but it should be every day because our mothers have passed on this power to us. Our ancestors, those that we didn't even know existed, Tina, are a part of our growth. And when I painted that, when I started it, I didn't even know I started to do ballerinas, but then I said, no, I'm going to put more power in this because it reminded me of how powerful, and I say is because my mother's spirit still is extremely strong in my life. And just to see these mothers, how in the church, how they just would shout and praise God, and
Yes.
they may not have had a lot of physical things, Tina, but they had the spiritual things, and that is the most
I love it.
important.
I
So
love
my
it.
art is more on a spiritual basis where it definitely embraces us as women. However, I won't be selfish because we got a lot of powerful men. So I am beginning to use my gift to dive deeper into creating pieces with men as well.
I love it. I love it. So we started off the conversation Wellness Wednesday talking about morning and evening rituals, and I'm sure you pray in the morning. We transitioned over to Yolanda starting her career as a caregiver. Now she has her own business where she's having her first event. You said it's in May, it's in Maryland. Now I want to transition because if anyone knows me, and I guess, again, your vibe is your tribe, right? You attract like minded people. And if you know mind, body, soul awakening, that's my whole thing. My platform is all about trauma. I'm always going to be talking about trauma and fitness because fitness is the thing that got me through the traumas of my life. When we think of the word trauma, I say it's when a trauma and a tragedy collide. Everyone who's gone through this, it could be the loss of a mother, it could be the loss of a child, it could be a layoff of a job, it could be anything. By the way, No More Trauma. You can purchase my book on Amazon if you like. And I'm doing an 8-week program, Yolanda. I would love to invite you as my guest, maybe to share your story. In this 8-week program, it's called Sculpted Opulence, and I have it based off of my book, which tells a little bit about my story, and then it gives you tips and tools to push through a trauma. And Yolanda made a big, she's got a bunch of books, so thank you for that, Yolanda. And in the book, when I did the program, Yolanda, at first I was just going to do just like a regular 8-week program based on the book, but I was like, no, I'm going to niche it down. So that it's called Sculpted Opulence. It's an 8-week health and wellness program because for me, girl, I'm hitting that perimenopausal, whatever the heck you want to call it. And I'm like, what is going on in my life? So you are sculpted, you are opulent. Sculpted, I think of like artwork, and then opulence is just like amazing. So it's an 8-week health and wellness program where we have the exercise classes, we have the nutrition, all that stuff. But we're going to tap into the book for the traumas of our life because sometimes we hold in our pain from last year, 5 years ago. And it's not just our pain, it's 7 generations. And I'm so excited to have you on today because I know you recently had a major traumedy, and I'm going to say welcome. It's to my club, which is the Warrior Moms. And it's not a nice club. I don't want to invite anyone to it. A warrior mom is a mom who's lost a child. And you just exude where I am now, which took me about 8 years. But again, you know, everyone has different lives. And I would love for you to share your trauma and how you got through, because there's women who are watching this and right now they're curled in bed. They don't want to get out of bed. They don't have anyone that they can call because of, you know, whatever trauma they've gone through. So I would love for you to share, if you don't mind, your trauma and how you pushed through so quickly.
Well, Tina, the joy of the Lord is my strength, and how I push through is just that. I recently, I'll say this, my son, Khalil Rashid, recently gained his wings. And yes, it was a shock. I had some disbelief, wonder, questions, anger. Yes, I'm still healing. I don't believe healing is just for a moment. For me, healing is every day. However, when it comes to a child, it's a little different because, you know, I don't feel that I've lost, but my mother and my father and my brother have transitioned prior to my son. It's gratefulness. As my husband and I received the news, we had left to go for our anniversary. And every year I love to go to the ocean, even if, you know, in the winter, I go each season to heal. And I didn't know why I was going for this healing, but I was there at the ocean and we had to leave. And as we were driving back, I realized how great God is. And in that realization, his grace to bless me as a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old young Black girl with the most amazing, respectful, life-giving son. And that is my son. He gave his life to so many people. And in this transition, because I don't look at it as a loss, I'm so grateful that God blessed me 46 years to be in my son's life, to structure him in knowing who God is, to structure him to have respect for himself and women, to raise his children singly with God's guidance and my husband and my assistant. But he was the mother and the father for years, and he loved me and his family, and he loved his children. And that is how I'm going on. And not only that, you know, over these years, you know, we know our children, but when we hear from other people, strangers, sharing with me, Tina, your son saved me. He blessed me. He showed me how to do this. He actually talked me into going into rehab. And now I'm sober. So these type of stories are blessing me to get through. Is it easy? No. Life never meant to be easy. And you know what, Tina? I learned that, I want to say in 2016, with my dear mother, who couldn't get out of the bed, but she had joy. And she lifted up her head and she said, You think this is something? Something else is coming down the line. And life was never meant to be perfect. It's just reaching into God's resources, the unwavering resources every day. I had a moment one day last week that I felt like I had a weight. And we're talking about fitness, right? How about fit mess? We have a fit mess, but we have God. In my extremities are God's opportunities to raise me up. And I can tell you, even before this, I didn't always want to get up, but it's through prayer and gratefulness. Because, there's always someone else who is in worse condition than myself. So that's what I stand on. When my girlfriend in the back says, "Oh, I don't want to cook again today," or "I don't want to do laundry," or just anything negative, I remind that girlfriend in the back, and that girlfriend in the back is my self conscious with my consciousness. Be grateful. You have a home. Your mortgage is paid. You have food. You have shelter. You have water. And first of all, you can see out of your eyes. You can hear with your ears. You can smell with your nose. You can talk with your mouth. You can use your hands and you can walk. So get over yourself.
Yes.
Get over yourself. And
Woo!
the best thing of it all, yes, physically, I will miss my son, but I have been feeling like getting these rushes, like he's right here, and I know he is, because the spirit of our God that we serve is real, and we come from that same spirit. So when I am feeling like I should call him, because we talk every day. And God blessed me to be able, the day before he transitioned, to know that he was in he was in a good space, because we talk every day. And he was on the bus. His engine blew up. But you know what? He didn't give up. He had gotten a brand new job and he was doing amazing. And he was on the bus and he was talking to some guy and he was like, "Hey man, how you doing today?" And the guy was like, I lost my job. I got my family. He said, and my son said, "Man, you know what? Looking at me, you wouldn't be able to tell where I came from. But I'm still on my way there. But don't give up. Keep up the fight, because God's got you." And then he said to me, Tina, he said, "Mom, I'm going to stop. I see Al over here at the other shop where he used to work." And I heard him, hey, chatting. And I said, "Well, you make sure you call me when you get home." And he said, "I will, Mom. I promise. I love you." And I said, "I love you too. But as parents, you make sure you call me," reinforcing. "You make sure you call me." And he said, "I promise, Mom, I love you." And I said, "I love you more." So the grace of God blessed me to be able to say and to hear my son say, "I love you." Where someone this morning, Tina, a woman and a husband who've carried this child for 9 months, or not even the full session of carrying a child, will not be able to hear that child speak, breathe, or see. So I'm grateful. In the midst of it all, I have God. Will every day be as disciplined as today? No. But what I do when I fall down, I get up, I dust my butt off, and I keep on.
I love it. I love it. If you're watching this, if that didn't inspire you, I don't know what will, because I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to have you, in my life, because I learn so much
I
from
love
you.
you.
her event. People are asking about your event. There's going to be a flyer. I'm going to put a flyer on my page. Can you just tell us again when, where, what is your event?
Yes, it is on May 18th, 2024 at the Billingsley House Museum in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And now, if you click on the Eventbrite link that I provided, you'll be able to get all of the information as far as the tickets, the drum roll of the agenda, as well as you can also go to, and I believe the link is scrolling at the bottom. It
Renee, can you put the
is,
link on the bottom, please?
yes, is, I believe it's there. It's BENE.
She's gonna put it across there for you.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
So Yolanda,
And
would
then
you
just reach out to me at IM_benevolent_art. And we all are artists in our own special way. We are
I
artists.
love it. I love it. Yolanda, I like to end the show with the guests sharing their 1 minute finale. And this 1 minute finale is you're standing at the top of a mountain. And I'm going to say mountain because I love a mountain. You're in Zion. If you've never been to Zion, family, you got to go to Zion. You're on the top of Zion and you have the whole world in front of you. And you have 1 minute to share something. What will you be sharing?
Okay, we have push-ups, we have pull-ups, we have crunches, we have squats, bending, we have planks, we have weights, we have strength. And the joy of the Lord is our strength, right? And though he slays us, we have to trust him. Our extremities, like I mentioned before, are God's opportunity for us to lean in on his everlasting arms, reaching into God's resources. He has unwavering hands and resources. And that is how my fit mess becomes my fitness. In every sport, there's so much more than just a game day. And without practice, hours of practice and hard discipline. And this is the time that we spend with God and building and growing in God, in his resources. Without those, there's no team. Team number one, me, team as a group, a big circle of others will ever win in any competition. And I'll end with that.
Yes, I love it. I want to add this to that for you. Team, together, everyone accomplishes more. So let's work together as a team. Thank you so much for coming through, Yolanda. Sending you hugs and kisses. Can't wait to see you in May.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're out of here.
So long.
Yes, peace and a bottle of hair grease. Bye. See ya, see ya, see ya, see ya.